Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Not For Everybody podcast. Ladies, say hello. Even though this is not live, but so what? And welcome to, this is now the third episode for 2020, I believe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I think so.
Lucky number 3.
Yeah. We're going to make this a lucky one, a really good one. Yes. And this is actually going to debut the Week of Love week. Mm-hmm. I love love. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm joined with a co-host this episode, and I actually have a lovely guest. So would you ladies like to introduce yourself?
I'll start by saying I'm Brown at Brown Booty Brains, hashtag Chole on the Nail, and I am honored to co-host with Dina.
Yes, we did a little collaboration. What was it, like a month or so ago?
Correct, about a month ago. It was like the another podcast. First podcast was everything. A lot of laughs, a lot of ad-libbing, and thank you for having me back.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for joining.
Oh, yes. All right.
And my name is Nathalie Gville. I'm the founder of Nellie's Compass, which is an online platform specifically for women of color. So you can find us at Nellie's Compass.
Yes. And so I didn't get a chance to meet you.
No, we never met before.
No. So
now we are.
Yes. Like, we knew of each other, but this is the first time that we're meeting each other because when I kicked off my Womenpreneur segment, I kicked it off with the Haitian Queen platform. They were like my very first.
Yes, my girl.
Yes. Yeah. So you were like one of the few that weren't able. We had Ruthie. We had
Alex and
Wendy. Yep, and Alex. Yeah. And I think that was it.
Yeah, it was 3 of them.
Mm-hmm. And we had such a good time. Like, we laughed.
Yeah, shout out to HQP.
Yes,
shout
queens.
Yes.
To the queens.
Yes.
I love, like, the bond that you guys have.
Yeah.
I just love it so much. And I just want to see it more.
You know what's crazy? When everyone's saying the same thing, it's like, we want to see more of HQP, you know, we want to see more. But you know what happens is, like, when we first came out, I think we were all at a point in our lives, careers, or what have you, where we were all probably operating at like a 3-4-ish, right?
Okay.
And we had a lot of time to really invest in HQP, and then all of a sudden, literally all of us shot up at the same exact time.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah, it's crazy because we're all doing so many amazing things.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
so
beautiful.
the sisterhood is still there. We check in. We talk all day long.
That's good.
But it's like, everybody's like, when are you guys gonna do something else? And it's just like everyone is just, and that's what happens.
That.
Yeah, that's what happened. I'm so proud of everybody and what everyone's doing. Wow. We all have our own respective lanes.
Yeah.
And we all support one another. We show up to each other's events all the time, and that's what matters at the end of the day.
Yeah,
you know?
I
the
think
sisterhood
that's
comes first,
the biggest thing.
So.
Yeah. I love that you guys are like branched out and things. All of the platforms that you guys are doing are like taking off. Like I follow each and every one of you guys, and I'm just like,
so dope.
Look at them. Like I'm just so happy.
Gosh,
I love to see stuff like that.
I mean, we have Maureen. She's a new mom. She has to travel, and there's Ruthie who's doing PR.
Yes.
Alex is a plus size model. She's an accountant. She also does travel.
Everything.
She does so much too by herself. I'm like, girl.
Also a blogger. She's a beauty and lifestyle blogger. She has wigs that she does, and she also, you know, and she's also a new mom too. Shout out to all our new mommies, and so everyone's doing something, and it's just like, okay, there's so much happening at one time.
Well, I mean, it's always cause for like a little break. It's not like you guys just got rid of it altogether, but that's the whole purpose when you look at it, is to band together and to be able to build together. So while you guys are building separately, who's to say like what can be brought together?
No, absolutely.
So I'm so here for it, but I was just excited because I'm like, I get to meet Nellie.
Finally,
and like,
I know you.
Doesn't it seem like that? And I'm so upset because every time you have an event, I'm just like,
you can never make it.
No, like this Saturday you're having an event, and I'm just like, by the time I finish everything that I'm doing, it's gonna be over.
Yeah.
So I'm sad.
But you know what? It's a good thing, though, because that means that we're all doing something.
Right.
So I never feel a way when people can't make my events, because that means that I'm still operating in a good space because you're still doing something. You know, you're doing.
Can you talk about that? Because some people get in their feelings. Why?
No, you can't.
Why do they feel like that?
Everybody's busy, and I always feel like as adults of a certain age, you have various obligations. You cannot make everything.
No.
Also, I'm dialing it back by pouring into me and my family a bit more. So that means I can't love you to death, but I can't make every little thing. But it doesn't mean I'm not supporting you on the sidelines and all your endeavors.
Yeah.
You know?
No. And I also learned too, like, in this space of being an entrepreneur, being a creative and everything, you know, we have a lot of people in our lives who didn't sign up for this journey.
True. Yeah, right.
So we have to be mindful of that as well. Because they're not interested in showing up to every single event.
Like,
and you have to understand that.
Yeah, like, that's your thing.
This is your call.
Right.
Yeah, it's not theirs.
Yeah, like,
so
I'm here for you, but I'm not going to be at everything.
Yeah,
and we have to be okay with that. But one of my biggest issues is when, as human beings, we start personalizing things. Like, if a person doesn't show up to everything, if they don't call all the time, if they're just not as available as they used to be, you start internalizing it, and it's just like, it's not something directed towards you. Everybody is doing something, right? You don't love me no more. Like,
you don't support me. I ride for you.
Right.
I'm riding for you as well.
Yeah, but can I grow too? Like, I'm trying to build my brand as well.
Absolutely right. Yep.
And this year, like, for me, because I said, like, you know, the first year was cool. It was a good time. It was just getting out there. And now that I'm in the second year, or, you know, somewhat, it's just like, this is season 2. I enjoy what I do so much that I have to focus now on really getting out there, expanding and everything. And that takes time, especially when you work.
And the sophomore jinx is real. Like, year 1, you come out there and it's brand new.
Right.
That second year, that's the true year. That's the test.
And that's like in all relationships. I always tell people, I'm not impressed by our first year together or any couple's first year together, because that's the
I love you.
Yeah, like, everybody is on cloud 9.
We're together.
We don't really know who each other
every weekend
are. Right.
We're at everything together. We're
exactly. And then if you can get past that second year, then that relationship is good to go. After, like, you guys are going to be able to get through anything that comes your way after that. But them first 2 years is like, don't impress me. No.
I always say the relationship starts after the first fight.
Oh,
That's
definitely. Because you'll see someone's true colors come out when they're not a fan of you, or they're not a fan of something you're doing.
And it's not the argument. Like, a real blown out fight, like, where you are looking at that person like, wait, so we really met like 6 months to a year ago? Who are you? I don't even know who you are. Right. So you're the person that I tell my friends about?
I thought I knew you. I don't know you. Like, I thought I did.
Sending in the group chat like, girl, I didn't know him. Right. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So maybe we should get into our. See, this is why I don't use an outline, guys. I'm sorry, because we never say. It just flows.
Just let it flow.
So we're gonna get into everything love for this week of love. So today, like, topic number 1. I thought we would talk about, like, today's dating scene, but I labeled it today's dating scene, aka I hate it here, because I'm single. So the dating pool is, I don't want to say trash, because God forbid somebody listens to it and they're like, oh, so I'm trash. So I don't want to say trash. But what it's a struggle out here. Like, it's rough. You're in a relationship.
I am.
Okay. I'm like, wait, are you on?
Yes.
I am.
She's married, so I feel like I'm the only one who hates it here.
No,
you're fine.
No,
don't just because you're married don't mean you hate it. You don't not hate it here sometimes.
Okay.
Love you, boo.
Okay, so if you guys, let's just use hypothetical. If you guys were single, what would you guys do differently dating that compared to what you've done in the past?
Good question.
Okay, so well, I was single for 2 years before I got in my current relationship. And so that 2-year period, I find it very interesting when you say, "Oh, it's trash," right?
It's trash.
Here's the thing. I think the first thing that I did was I had to change my thinking about like, how I looked at it, and I really had to have fun with
doing it.
With doing it,
Yes.
Okay.
because at the end of the day, it's two things, right? Number one, it's my world,
right?
So I have to make it about me. Like I can't make it about A, B, or C.
You set the tone.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like if someone, for whatever reason, I can see that we're not clicking, then I'm just like, you know what? Okay, exit, stage left, return to sender. Like, he's not my person.
So
like,
do you
that's
ghost? Or do you just say, like, bro, this ain't working for me?
I've done both.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I've done both.
I've ghosted
I have
a couple of
ghosted
times
in the past.
Story.
Yeah.
I've ghosted. But I've had to, like, like, have that, especially if I'm talking to somebody for a while, you have to let them know. You can't just up and disappear.
Because I'm telling you, what I did, was I just stopped, and it was so
you
immature at the
ghosted.
time. I ghosted. This was a couple years ago. Ghosted, but this man I felt terrible. He had the police come to my house because he was concerned. He didn't hear from me, and then he had them come to my job.
Whoa.
So I felt. I didn't know all this. I thought, we had been dating.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that serious, but maybe he did. But he was like, he thought something, because I ghosted. I blocked his number. I'm like, I'm good, et cetera, et cetera. And he literally had the police come to do a wellness check to make sure I was good. So I said I would never. I felt terrible. I felt like, I could have been a lot more mature and have said, listen, this is not going to happen.
Did you speak to him after they showed up?
Well, I wasn't home. But just to know people looking through my windows, checking my car.
Oh, my God.
They ended up at my job and they saw that I was there.
Like, is she alive?
But I called and apologized. I didn't know we were that serious.
He didn't cuss you out?
He was upset, but he was one of those silent upset people.
Girl,
Like,
I would have read
okay?
you for the filth.
Wow.
Rightfully so. So I said after that, and it was so crazy because that's not normally my steez. I usually am very clear in communication. This is not working out for us.
Right.
We're not a good fit. Yeah. But this particular time, it's just that I don't want to go into what happened, but what had happened just felt like, listen, I'm good.
Like I need to move on. Clearly, he didn't feel that way.
Because from the last correspondence via text, like you can tell, listen, don't call me no more, et cetera, et cetera.
Some guys don't take the hint though. Like you can say, like I've had guys where usually, like again, I have ghosted in the past. I've been ghosted before. It's not fun. But I've said to guys, very easily, it was nice getting to know you, but I've decided to go in another direction. And
like an exit interview.
Correct.
Yeah, and like I kind of just leave it at that. I wish you all the best and whatever.
Yes.
That's my favorite line.
Some of them, I've done it. It sucks. I hate doing it, right?
It just sounds bad.
My heart just hurts. But I've done it, and then I get the, why you don't want to talk to me no more?
Oh, boy.
I remember I had this one guy. He would just constantly keep texting and calling and texting and calling. He messaged me on Instagram. He found me on GroupMe.
No.
He would
Just, that's where,
what's the other one?
Is that
not GroupMe? It's
Meetup?
Yeah, it was a meetup. It was one of them things.
Girl.
But it was one of the like really random ones. And it's like, why did you do this? Why did you leave me? Like, it's just some guys, they don't like the rejection.
Correct. Because, the ego was big for men.
Yeah, it's the ego
Especially
thing.
men who have a lot going on for them, too.
Yeah.
Don't let one of them go. They're like, what, me? I'm like a unicorn. You crazy?
Like,
So, yeah.
I am the shit.
Correct.
Like,
Like, how could
you're
you not
missing
like
out.
Me? Yeah.
Right. Like, how
Apparently
dare
not.
you?
Them.
Apparently not. I'm good. Thanks.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
When you take them from here down to here,
yeah, it's a little bit.
all of a sudden, I think what happens is a lot of guys, they don't understand how someone cannot be interested in them.
Correct.
And now they have to find out what happened. Or they just want to know that you're still interested in them.
Right.
So they'll send out little feelers. Like, you'll
That
post a
is true.
photo or you'll post something on Instagram and
Correct.
you'll get a slide in your
Looking
DM,
good.
a little
You
fire
looking
emoji.
good.
Heart
With the eyes.
Heart
Eyes
eyes.
emoji.
Right?
Oh, see.
They just want to
Eggplant
say
emoji.
thank you. Oh, how you been doing? What's going on?
That's why I use the block.
I've
My
been
friends
doing-
get on me all the time. They're like, girl,
Block
you in that
queen?
block? Yes, they call me the block queen. And I'm just like, why would I not? Like, if I don't want to communicate with you anymore, I feel like I can tell you that in 18 different ways.
Yeah.
You can still say like, okay, well, I'm going to just text her.
That's
Like, maybe
true.
today is
Yeah.
changed. And if I block you, it's okay that you still do that. I'm just not receiving it.
That, correct.
Because if I get it, and see it, I'm just gonna be annoyed. Like, why should that throw off my day? Because it's just like, bro, I told you in text, phone, letter, like I don't want to be bothered, and yet you decide today to be like, she was just having a bad day. Correct. No, I just don't want to talk to you, so I block. And like you said, like I've been ghosted. I don't like having to ghost on people. Correct. Yeah. I still find it very difficult to have certain conversations. So for me, it's just like, it's easier if I just don't say anything and block you, because it's just like, we'll never have a conversation again. It's not like, well, I can't say like we may not see each other, but you never know.
You might bump into somebody. That's my thing. My thing is this, right? I don't ever want to damage a man for the next wonderful lady. So there is sometimes some type of communication on, we're not a good fit. Right. You're a great person, but we're not a good fit. If they're pressing on past that, then we might dig deeper into, well, I felt like, the way you were, your manners or your personality, or you're a bit rash, or your attitude, you're quick to anger, and that's not my cup of tea. But I definitely, one of the biggest things when I was dating is that I never wanted to damage a dude for the next woman, because just because you're not a good fit for my particular nuances doesn't mean for the next one. But a lot of people get burned one time. They're like, this is over. I don't want to date anymore. There's nothing out here. Dating is trash. It is trash. We have to make sure that I will just say, not damaging the person for the next person.
That's a good point.
I like
just that. So that you're maintaining. Because guys get like, oh, I'm not dating anybody. These girls out here, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. And it happens to them when they really actually like a girl. I have a friend who he pulled out all the stops for this girl, and she was very lukewarm on him. And he's like, for the chicks I don't do anything for, they on me, so I'm just gonna go back to that. And I'm just like, I don't want you to go. I still want you to roll out the red carpet and make sure the woman you're dating are good. But he was like, they don't respond to that. The ones I like didn't respond to that. And the ones I don't like are like, hey, with like the bare minimum. So I'm just like, so that's what I mean by damaging it.
But that's a good point, because like I would honestly say where I'm at now, I will kind of do that, like put that kind of thought to it. A couple of years ago, I'd have been like, I don't give a fuck. Like, they don't care about damaging us. True. Because they damage us. Like, and because I won't say all females, but I feel like females are more known for holding grudges compared to males.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like men are the pettiest, most sensitive beings.
Well, today's men, yes.
And they're PMSing every 5 minutes. Yes. You won't know.
I don't know the type of men that are out here today, because they tend to display a lot more female traits than I would say in years past. Like, some of the men that I grew up with, because when I was younger, I was always more closer to males than females. Like, I have my female crew, but men and I always click. Like, you don't go through the same issues with your male friends that you do with your female friends, and we can relate more. So you can have conversations. Y'all can even have arguments, and it's just like, all right, so, what's up for tomorrow, or whatever the case may be. Like, a full-out curse out, and then it's like nothing happened 5 minutes ago. So
shout out to Remo.
Compared to the men then and what I see of men today, it kind of saddens me, because it's just like, I feel like I'm gonna have girlfriends forever. Like, I can't.
I think it's a multitude of things. So I feel like we now live in a society. I mean, I can only speak on black men, but I feel like
only black men, so not white men.
No, I mean, I speak on what I know.
Okay, right, okay, right, all right.
So I mean, but we can talk about men. But I see, like, particularly with black men, I feel like black men now are more emotional, because it's easier or it's more socially acceptable to be emotional.
Which is not a bad thing for a black man, though.
Yeah, because we want them to be emotional.
It's not a bad thing.
So when we say, in the past, guys weren't like that, it was because they were holding everything in. But now they're letting you know they're hurt. They're letting you know they're sad. They're letting you know you broke their heart.
Right, like, and they're letting us know, like, we could be petty. Like, we could do a lot of same things now, that you guys
crazy.
Do
that's
too.
The story. But I do feel like our men, I'm okay with them expressing, I didn't like that.
Right.
hurt my feelings, and them not feeling judged regarding the masculinity, or she's gonna look at me like I'm soft. I really want all men, especially our men, to express themselves, what their feelings are, instead of doing what they normally do, which is non-communication. You don't know what the hell's going on.
Act out,
and then the relationship is over or done, and two people are damaged, walking away to go out and venture off and do it all over again. Yeah. So
I think because we're in a time where past traumas is such a big thing now that everybody is more focused on that, because I feel like I wouldn't have thought about whatever my issues were in the past, how much they impacted my relationships, and I'm talking about all of them. It's just not like one in particular, because God only knows how long I've felt these type of ways in the past, so it had a lot to do with a lot of my relationships. So it took a while for me to just be like, I never realized how all those little things that I may have suppressed or felt like weren't issues were
actually
issues, and it was my actions in the relationships showed it. Like it spoke for whatever it was that I was feeling. And it's not fair to a lot of the individuals that I was with, because they didn't, one, they don't know. Correct. Two, I didn't know. And neither one of us knew how to address those type of things. Like these are things that people are now just talking about. And you still have some men that don't really want to talk about it, because again, they're looking at it like they don't want to be judged or viewed in a certain way. Definitely. But I do appreciate the men who are just like, I have X, Y, and Z, and you don't even have to go into depth. Like, you don't have to list everything, but just to say, like, this happened to me. I did that to this person, and I learned from that, so I'm trying to do things a little bit differently. Those, I feel, are the type of conversations that we should have. But I feel like, so we'll get into that, but I'm going to just, like, pause it, because I have a topic on here about dating apps. Okay. So I look at some of them, and I look at some of the captions, and I'm just like, so we really putting this out here? Like, okay. So we're definitely going to touch base on that, but it just has me like, so ain't nowhere safe out here to be like, dating. I feel like it's just another platform for people to front on. I just need people to just
be real.
Like I may not be
on them dating. Well, it wasn't the apps; it was the websites. I met a lot of good dudes on the paid websites.
Yeah, I agree. Yes,
that's you gotta pay.
Like the ones when you pay, that's when you find the quality guys.
It was like Match. And I'm dating myself because it's been a while. Match and eHarmony. I met a lot of pretty decent dudes on the OkCupid, the paid.
Oh, so it's the paid one.
It's the paid one. I think I paid for OkCupid at one point. Was it OkCupid? Yeah, I think it was OkCupid. I paid, and then the quality of men literally shot up.
Yeah.
Yes. Once it's like it unlocks like some door and like the heavens.
Really?
It's just all.
And you're like, so where the hell was this before?
Yeah. It was on there.
Really?
I know for me at the time, I had worked in entertainment for years. So, I'm out, during the weekday, Tuesday through Thursday, Tuesday through Friday. I'm like, there's a man out there that's not hanging out on the days I'm hanging out. He might be home. He might be at the library. He might be fixing his house that I'm not bumping into because of maybe our schedules, our industry. Right. So I was like, my person may be 2 houses down, but I don't know them.
Right.
Because, again, we have different lifestyles, different career paths. My job involves me on the scene. His job might have him more in the office or traveling. So I need to, maybe we might be passing each other in the wind. So that's really why I went online. I had been always meeting guys.
Right.
But it's the quality and also the commonalities that you're looking for in your partner that really is missing in the random dudes you meet at the bar, at the club, or whatever, at the festival, or at, the kickback or whatever. So that's why I got online. Absolutely. But I didn't have too many crazy stories because I vetted how I would in person. Okay. If shit didn't add up, it didn't add up.
Yeah.
I have stories for you. We
might have to do another show with but the dating horrors.
Well, to piggyback off of something you just said about where the men are, I have a collaborative partner, and he works with men, and so he and I go back and forth having male-female conversations. And I remember one time he was talking about all the good men that are out there there. And I was like, well, where are they? He said, they're at work.
Yeah,
they
you're right.
You're right.
They're not out on a Thursday night kicking it.
Work. Yeah, they're really at work. Like, they're working hard. They're building. They're planning.
Right.
So,
or at the car wash on Saturday, because I be at the car wash. They all there. I'm like, yo,
like
they wash
they're
their
doing
car.
what they gotta do. They're being, responsible citizens.
I'm about to just pop up at a car wash.
Yeah, listen, I tell all my girls, I'm like, they're at the car wash. They're getting their car ready
for
say,
yes.
I need to get some plants. Maybe I'll go to Home Depot.
That's where you got.
I love like a construction old school dude who had to fix things. They're at the Home Depot.
Yeah, go to Home Depot.
No, so listen,
don't dress up too much. You have to look like you belong.
Yeah, you can't be like in the stilettos and heels. Like,
anybody
know what the light bulbs are?
Don't do all that. No.
Scale it back a little.
Scale it back. But most
men,
men,
you're there for a reason.
Most men approach when a woman is like dressed all the way down, just like real casual, hair in a ponytail, etc. Most men feel comfortable and that was another thing for me. Whenever I was glammed up, which I don't ever think I'm always glammed up, nothing. But whenever I'm looking crazy, running into in casual gear or joggers or anything, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, my hair looks crazy, my eyebrows is non-existent.
I don't normally look like
that. Right? I'm trying to do a disclaimer, like, this is not my normal.
And that's usually how it goes. We're always like, oh my God, like this is just a one-off. Like,
the gas station, you're just trying to run to the store, real quick. Rite Aid. I feel like Rite Aid is like when you're just trying to run in and
full
get
of everybody.
Vegetables. That's when you bump it. You like, hey,
throwing everything on the floor. Like,
I didn't need that.
I didn't need that.
Always.
I don't drive, so maybe I need to just roll around.
So we got Home Depot, driving, car wash, or gas station.
I'm gonna just walk to my closest car wash and have coffee for everybody.
To maybe the gym.
True.
I hated the gym.
Yeah, I love the gym, but
I loved going there. But the guys that would be there, like when I was there, it's just like
meatheads.
Yeah, to an extent. But then it's also like, first of all, this is not my lifestyle. So I cannot date you, and you're gonna be like, so did you go to the gym today? First of all, bro, that's your life. Like, that's I'm just here to like maintain. Correct. Like, I come here for fun sometimes, but it's not my life. Like, it's not 3-4 days out the week and meal prepping all the time.
I've had some of those, and I'm like, we can't be in a relationship because you're at the gym.
Yeah,
like, schedule. I gotta be here. I'm like, dude,
and you could be there all the time. I know where you're at,
just not on.
But don't think that I'm coming with you because and I'm gonna eat these nacho fries while you're at the gym, and that's just fine. Like, don't judge me. I feel like a lot of them judge and it's just like,
nah, carbs today.
Some of them do, some of them don't. Some guys. You're right. It's weird. It's like 50-50 because some guys do, some guys don't. Some guys love going to the gym. They don't care if their girl goes or doesn't go. It's weird.
It's so weird, and it's just
need to go to the gym.
Sometimes I feel like it's just best staying in my house because I'm just like, child, the pickings out here are like slimmer and slimmer.
You have to change your outlook.
You have to change your outlook.
Chloe told me I gotta change my outlook. I gotta change, maybe switch up. Like, I was just like, this list is like
attraction.
Yeah.
You know,
once you start having fun and enjoying being single, literally, like, that's how I met, like, my boyfriend.
Hey, boyfriend.
Hey, boyfriend.
Hey, boo.
But it was someone who had been in my life for a very long time, and it just kind of, the stars kind of.
And you were like, really? Look at us here.
Yeah, like, I'd known it for like 20 years.
Wow. Yeah. I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
The stars kind of just aligned.
Like, I know your mama, don't play with me.
Basically. But he said to me, he was just like, yeah, you were just doing your thing, and you were so, like, you were so happy because you were, you were working on completing yourself. And that's what was attractive.
That conversation? See? How many men, honestly, are really out here having conversations like that?
Depending on if they're not fucking. Because listen, this is what my biggest thing is with us. I'm turning it back to us women now.
Okay.
I feel like we're giving up the goods to people who are not worthy. And then are on the flip side and saying there are no good men out here. I want us to dial it back, understand our worth, and get to know the person. Get to know if you even like this person. If you even want to see them tomorrow, let alone next week, let alone 3 months from now, because we'll say, oh no, it's just a friends with benefits situation. When you now sit at home having feelings for somebody, when for him it was just a situation, and then now you're like, there's no good dudes out here. No, this wasn't a relationship for you to be on that wavelength.
Right.
But I just want us women to dial it back on the sex, because it's like, I get that we're liberated and we want to move and bob and weave like men do, but there's a lot of people getting their hearts broken and are damaging themselves. I just feel like the clarity that two people getting to know each other with no expectations physically, no expectation physically. I definitely want to know if you're a marriage-minded man, but no expectations physically. Let's get to know each other to see if you even like me on a good day, bad day, or in different days.
Because I got a lot of shit with myself. Like sometimes I don't like myself. Like I'm like, oh girl, like this attitude you got today, I'm not here for it. So, and you're right, because there are a lot of women who, it could be friends with benefits, or even if it's just dating, but they're not communicating. Definitely. They tend to go with the flow. Okay. So while things may just say like, listen, I'm just shooting the shit, or like we're dating or whatever, it's okay for us to sit here and say like, okay, like I know that this is where we started. I'm feeling you a little bit more than what I thought. Like, however it is. And say, like, so where do you see us? Like, if we're not on the same page, it's best that we just jump off from now
like, go our separate
before it gets worse. Like, I've seen a lot of women who just go with the flow, and now they're stuck.
Girl. I need to know what we doing
a year or two, and it's just like, so they're not figuring it out.
It comes with maturity. It comes with a better sense of self. It comes with you being confident in yourself. Because the thing is, like, once I raised my standards, all of us, like, okay, and I also had a list, too.
Okay. Ooh, you had a list.
I had a list.
Okay.
I'll read it later. Okay. I had a list, but once I raised my standards, and I was just like, okay, this is what I want. This is what I need. This person is not doing this, and this. It's not going to work.
Right.
Good.
Or I just, and along with having the list of what I wanted in a guy, I also realized if I want that type of person, I had to level up in order to meet him.
I agree.
Too. So I had to do that.
Yeah.
People's asking for things.
Yeah,
and
I had to level up. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But it also came with me knowing, like, do I just want a fuck buddy, or do I want a relationship? And if all you want is a physical and that's it, then that's fine. But if you want something substantial, if you want something more, you have to be able to say no if you're not getting it.
Right.
Because the person that you want, he's out there. He's already, your partner is there. Like,
hello, where are you?
He's literally living his day to day. He might be at work. He might be doing whatever. Like, he's already alive. He's in his world.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be wasting my time on these bozos who are not, doing what I need.
Right.
Exactly.
And blocking my blessings for my person to come into my life.
Right.
So I think that's what it all comes down to. Just, you really have to know what you want, know what you need. And then once you start saying yes and saying no to certain things, it kind of just makes it that much easier.
Yeah.
I agree. Because when I was dating for fun, that was very clear. Like, listen, we're going to enjoy each other. We're going to enjoy a good time. But the minute I was ready for a serious relationship, as in marriage-minded, the first question, are you interested? I'm interested in a life partner. Are you? If the answer was no, I don't care how fine this dude was. I don't care how much money he had. I would say, so we're not quite a good fit, because that's where I'm at.
Right.
Most dudes would be like, we'll see. Well, I might be. I don't want to. The man, men are very clear when they want something.
Yeah.
So if you're indecisive about, if you can't articulate that you're interested in a life partner, I can't even really F with you like that. I'm interested in a man who's able to be like, I'm interested in a life partner right now. That's the space I am in right now. If dude wasn't on that, we weren't doing anything else past this conversation. And also, there was no physical. And I'm a fan of physical, but there was no physical.
She's like, I'm here for it.
I'm an advocate of it. Makes everybody happy. Everybody's good.
Say amen.
That's serotonin, everything. But, you have to eliminate things that disrupt clarity and get to know somebody. Sometimes you feel like you can handle it. Like, nah, we're good or whatever. And then you waiting by the phone. He didn't text me good morning.
Right.
My whole vision is foggy. I can't see straight. I get all messed up. Yeah.
Like, let me call somebody and make sure my phone working, because I didn't wake up to my records today.
I eliminate the physical.
Did I pay my phone bill?
Right. Hello, Sprint.
Just make sure my service is intact.
I stuck to the script. And when you stick to that, then your dating life changes. You're only entertaining and dealing with water seeks its own level, what your requirements are, and people who are well suited for you.
Right.
And then I bumped into, hubs or whatever. So.
Hey, hubby. So I will say that. So, like, normally I'm the type of girl like, I'm not like, I don't feel like you deserve all of this. So
me too.
I text my friend. I'm like, my best friend upstate, and I was like, girl, you would be proud of me today. Let me tell you what I did. And she was like, what? And I was like, girl, I laid it out on the line. I was like, I'm 42. I have a 21-year-old.
Good.
This is what I'm doing.
Good.
This is where I work. I said, I'm also dating with the intent of finding a life partner.
Perfect.
And they were just like, oh, I enjoy those specs. And I was like, oh, okay. So then this is like, people do respond to that stuff. Because, you know, some men, they will be like,
this is on a dating app?
And that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
yes. One of my friends was like, you're going to go on this app. She put my pictures, like she was the one who selected
I love that.
my pictures and everything. And it was just like, some of them, I'm just like, I text her, I was like, girl, I'm going to just delete this shit. Like, I don't have the time. I don't have the time.
Pay a little money for the app.
So, because I said that, I was like, some of my preferences just don't seem to be like, I don't know. Like, I thought you set these preferences, but they told me, like, if you want to do
what
this.
App was this? Because we have to talk about different dating apps. Because some are better than others.
Okay. Because this one, I don't know how new it is. Like, the dating apps, I'm still very leery of dating apps. Like, I'm just
hits
like,
and misses.
Bruh, like, I'm very leery.
Do you feel like the person's not displaying who they
say.
really are?
Yes.
Like, what's the...
Some are not. I've met
Yeah.
some guys that were not
Catfished?
Okay, so I was never catfished per se, but I did meet someone. We went on a date, and he was a lot older.
So he used one of his old
school pictures. He used an older photo.
Cat daddy?
Listen, let me tell y'all about this date. Right?
Yes, I need to know about this one.
Listen,
Did you like get up and leave? Like,
I don't...
Let me tell you what happened, right? So,
like, check please. I don't...
I'd have been like, no, I wasn't here. Right.
So we were talking for actually like a good a couple of weeks.
Okay.
Conversation was pretty good. I think he worked in finance, but he went back and forth between New York and Philadelphia. And he's like, I want to take you out or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. So we meet up. Now, I get there first, and...
well, you see him walk in like, oh, hell
no. I didn't even see him walking. Right? I get there first. I'm sitting at the bar, so my back is to the door. And
it's like, hey, young lady.
I ordered like a nice little... I ordered a glass of Prosecco. I'm chilling or whatever. And I get a tap on the shoulder, and I turn around, and I don't see anything. He lied about his height.
You know what?
I was sitting on a stool, so I looked straight, and I was like, oh, shoot, there he goes, right?
No.
Baby.
He was like 5 feet, 4 or 5?
Well, the stool was pretty high. He was probably like 5'6". He said he was like 6 feet 6'1". Which honestly, if a guy had said his real height, it wouldn't have bothered me that much. But it was just like the fact that he had already said
that's a flag that you're lying about your height.
6'1" to 5 something. Come on, man. Nah, that's
he
deceitful.
lied about that.
That's
but
deceitful.
I mean, at the time I was living in Long Island, I had taken the Long Island Railroad to come all the way into Manhattan. So it was late. I was hungry. I was tired. I was like, let me just sit through this date, right? So
this is why
I was like, nah, you gonna pay for this.
Yeah, I got to eat something here.
You inconvenience me.
I'm gonna need a couple drinks down with you tonight.
Excuse me, this bar.
Medium. You want a medium?
But he was the type of guy that I could tell as soon as we sat down. He was one of those people who he takes pride in, and I didn't realize this while we were talking, but he takes pride in his career. Okay. And it was a very lucrative career. So number one, he felt like that would land him any type of woman because obviously he's had materialistic women in the past. But also
being that short. You are tricking on chicks. You are
tricking
on chicks being that short.
Yeah.
He was used to dating those types of women, and then also they didn't really care, like about
because he was footing the bill and wining and dining and listen,
I wasn't that.
What's like Cash App?
Correct.
What's his Cash App?
I knew that there was no chance of nothing when he asked me. He says to me while we're sitting at dinner, because he was so happy to be with me, right?
I'm still flabbergasted.
I'm sure.
You turned around and you couldn't see him.
And he said to the waitress, he's like, she's beautiful, isn't she?
And I'm like, so happy. And he's short, isn't he?
Bless his heart. He was so happy. But he says to me,
as he should be,
what do you think about Black Lives Matter?
Okay.
And I was like,
I
think yes. And he was like, oh, I don't agree with Black Lives Matter.
That would have been date over for me.
And I was just
know those types.
Mean?
I call those Connecticut guys. Sorry.
And he was just like, well, that's what happened. He didn't agree with it because he could not see beyond the Black struggle. For him, everything was about money. Money solves everything. And so he was like, I left that life alone. Now I'm trying to get into this room.
You a dollar away from being in that life, child, please.
Exactly. And I was like, we're not compatible. Like, we're just not compatible.
You're morale. First of all, you're a liar, and you're morale.
Our children will be screwed.
I did
cannot
meet
relate.
a lot
Our children
of
will be
successful black men who was on that wavelength, and I could not date anyone.
No, I think that's
you gonna sit here and try to dispel our history.
That's
and
what he was doing.
And what's going on in
but
today's
not for
world.
nothing, a lot feel like it's just like, okay, it's a
Them
passion.
dudes are from
Why
Connecticut.
would I
don't know why.
She just thinks, you know what, she trying
All
to.
them dudes are from Connecticut.
They are not. they are right here in this city, damn it.
Yeah,
But I just feel that while it may be the past, we're still going through it.
Correct.
It's a totally different version from what our family, our ancestors, like there's so many different things. It's just a different level. It's not gone. We're living it every day.
If there was a war, we would be in line. I would be in line with Keisha down the block, and her and I would be on the same line, getting the same free food and the same water. And so would Richard from wherever he was. Would be in the same line as Hakeem, getting the same food, free food, and free water. We are all when shit hits the fan, we will all be in the same line. Don't ever let money, objects, materialistic things separate you from your own, from your day to day. Let's be clear. LeBron said it. I'm still a black man at the end of this. At the end of this, so let's be for real here.
But the thing is that they feel like that.
I met a lot of well-to-do brothers like that. I don't want to go into the brother bashing, but I did meet a lot of brothers from Connecticut and Long Island who worked in finance, hedge funds, and investment banking who felt like they were so far removed from everything that, people are harping on this. This is not really an issue. Yes, it is, because you think these dudes is effing with you. You make the money. That's why you're here. Yeah. You're talent. You don't own anything. Are you a partner?
Exactly.
How long you been at a company? You're not the partner? They're not really fucking with you.
Exactly.
That's what it is. Your ability to walk into a room and make them look good. Your ability to be their token.
Correct.
You know, and I think that it's important that we as a society, male and female, we understand that. Because I mean, even me, one time I was followed home by the police at one point, and I was scared. Yeah, it was crazy, but I was like, what bank am I about to rob? Like, what transaction am I about to pull? But yeah, so I always say it doesn't matter, you know.
And
like,
if you were to
live in that
be
type
with
of society.
He wouldn't even be able to console you during that moment.
Like, what's going on in the
he
world
would ask
now.
me what I was doing wrong, probably.
Exactly. You would
like,
so what did you do?
That is? Why do you think that happened to you?
Yeah.
Did you provoke them? And it's like, excuse me?
What were you doing? What time was it? Why were you out so late?
Because everybody stays out late. Like, we don't have a curfew. We don't live in a place where there's a curfew.
Yeah, I dated quite a few well-to-do dudes like that. But I will say this. I dated... Because I'm extremely pro-black and pro-black love. But my friends would say, well, you don't know about other races, et cetera, et cetera. So what I did when I was dating is I dated every race, right? White, Indian, Chinese, et cetera. Because I wanted to be clear, and I'm still hold true to this, men are men. Right. Other races didn't treat me way better than the brothers were treating me. The brothers were treating me way different or way worse than men are men. Men do what you allow. Out of all the men I dated, they all was on the same. There wasn't anything extra that I found with other races of men. Legit, they fell into line with what I allowed.
Right.
And that was across the board.
Absolutely.
So, I always say that because that's the new thing now. I'm a fan of love who you love, date who you want to date. Just don't down your race.
Right.
You cannot down a whole race of people because you had bad experiences.
Yeah.
You gotta look at, if you keep having bad experiences, you gotta look at yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Like at some point you gotta be like, okay, so why is it that I keep having these messed up relationships?
Yeah. Be like, oh, these chicks are. No, you gotta look at yourself and do a self-evaluation. But at the end of the day, all men were men. Those men didn't treat me any more or any different than they treated me how I allowed and what my parameters were, and that was that. And I ended up with an awesome Haitian sensation.
Yes, one time Haitian.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, you're right. I think because I've also dated outside of my race too, and it all came down to fundamentals and values.
Right.
That's what matters when it comes to who you want to do forever with.
Right.
As long as those are intact and you have similar fundamentals and values with someone, that is what will determine how solid your relationship is with somebody. Because you could date somebody who is not out, who is outside of your race. but you guys see eye to eye. Maybe you guys were brought up the same way. Maybe
Right.
your families are operating on the same level or whatever. And so it's easy for you to relate. And then you can meet somebody else who's the same race as you, but you guys cannot.
Million miles away.
You just can't get it together with that one particular
Can't see
person.
eye to eye at all. And it's just like,
Yeah.
why are we even continuing with that?
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
exactly.
So yeah, I know we're going to talk about Black love.
I think I have
Black
to
love
say,
is
like,
dope.
I'm proud of us.
Oh.
Because while we're off topic, we hit 2 topics. We did the dating scene and dating apps. So
The dating scene is great, by the way.
I mean, all right.
we gonna work on that. We're gonna check.
Yes,
We're gonna change
yes. And
your
I will
outlook
keep you guys
2020.
updated. Like, I feel like I should do a whole episode like Dina's dating life.
I love that.
I think so.
Dina's dating.
Yeah, like I
Dina's
feel like
dating.
I can relate more to people. They'll see like the real vulnerable side.
Good.
Would
That's
you
what
be
it's
interested
about.
in being set up?
Yes.
You know what? I would give that a try. I would give that a try. So my age range is
All right. Put down the
I will go
parameters.
from
All right, you gotta be honest.
so 30s. I will go from 35 to 44.
Okay.
I will
Okay.
go in that range. For me, I have to say that children are a no for me.
Understood.
Yeah. I'm living life right now. Like, I'm
Yeah.
a whole adult. Like,
I
I'm not.
agree.
I feel like, if anything, I should be preparing to be a grandma, not to be somebody's
His mom.
mommy.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct.
Especially.
I'm about to be a glamour. Like you are gonna be.
I swear, I hope I have a granddaughter because we are going to be out here just cutting it up, and my son is going to hate the both of us because I just cannot wait. And maybe it's because I wanted my own girl at the same time. I wanted a boy, but I think like once I got it, it was just like, all right. So, yeah, like we have a great relationship, but I want that. I think because of the relationship I have with my mom, I would want to have that
with
with
your
my
own.
daughter.
Yeah.
Like my son is like, the other day was just like, I can't remember the last time he gave me a hug and a kiss. And he was just like, because why? Like, Mom, you know I love you. And I was just like,
You have this
One of that affection.
yes.
affection,
I
yes.
swear if it was my daughter, she
Yeah.
probably would have been like, Mommy,
Yeah, I'm very
I
affectionate.
still
with
did that with
mom.
my mother.
Me too.
Yeah.
My mom and I speak every day, all day long. So to me, it's just like, I have to we live in the same house, and I have to text my son like 2 days later, hey, like, how are you?
alive?
Yeah. And it's just like, hey,
Boys.
what's up? And it's like, I feel like we don't live in the same house. Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
Granddaughter, okay.
I pray he does not have a daughter because he does not
You're not
know.
gonna see her.
Nope, at all. So I'm definitely open into being set up. I would say before I would have been like, hell no, don't set me up with none of that.
Yeah,
But
setups are-
I'm open to it. Like I'm open to a lot of things because even dating apps, like I was queen, like. So for me
Setting
to
up is
even
better.
put one, like get on one, I was like, well, let me see what this
See,
experience
open,
is about.
okay.
Yeah,
I've set
So
up
I'm
quite a few
open to
friends, and some of them
things.
are married now. So
yeah.
I
You
do
know
believe
what? Setting up
I
is
do
better.
believe setting.
Really?
I feel like if you have the right friends now,
Yeah.
who are discerning and have decent
Exactly.
taste that you trust, like you
Okay.
trust this person's
Yeah.
judgment on a decent caliber man.
Yeah.
Like I trust that you would not set me up with anybody who
Yeah.
you know
Right.
a decent caliber man. Then and then also you run down the stats a little bit, and all I do is introduce. If those
Let it
two
happen.
adults want to move forward in that direction,
Right.
cool.
No,
Just
absolutely.
introduction.
Yeah,
Referrals
I
are
would
key,
say.
I think. And when you're in a space and you're navigating through a certain space or through a certain scene, and let's say, for example, you're at an event, you know, chances are they're going to be like-minded individuals there.
True.
So it could be someone that she could potentially meet, or you know,
Right.
I could potentially hook you up with somebody when you don't know what's going on, and it's literally like a blind date, like the internet date. Anything can happen.
True.
But when you're navigating through rooms where it's people
Right.
that you know, or someone invited you, or someone you know, someone, it makes it a lot easier.
It does.
Yeah, it's someone
'Cause
who,
it's just
for
like-
the most part, it's on the same playing field as
Yeah.
you, more or less.
Yeah. I'm very I like things to be organic, like
Yeah.
a natural connection,
Yeah.
and even if it doesn't go on the same, because that's another friend that I
Correct.
possibly add. Like
True. And that
everything
friend might
has to
introduce
be
you another
flowing.
friend, and you.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, let's be open minded here. Don't be selfish because
Right.
it didn't work out for you. No, but because a lot of men are like that. Like, nah, like I used to talk to her. Like, I'm
All we
like,
did
but
was
why
talk,
you blocking
right?
my
You
blessing?
blocking my blessing.
God said that man was for me, and you blocked sucking it. Like, no, don't do that. We're grown now.
Yeah.
Now we're grown.
Nah,
those little 20s and 30s things where it's just like, nah, like that's my homeboy. Like that, you may have been put here for me to eventually meet homeboy,
Correct,
and now you just ruined everything, and now God got to start all over again from like with a whole new plan. No, we're not doing that anymore. Like we're not. I don't know. There were so many things that in my 20s and 30s I was just like, like you can't do those things.
Yeah,
but
looking
then
back
it's
at
just
it now, you're like,
why? Like I've actually seen relationships with people, and it's not like in my circle. This is like on the outside, and it could just be like I love black love, like, and just to hear their stories. Like one, they were introduced. They weren't introduced. They knew of each other because of the guy that she was dating back then. So they had already known each other. And here it is now 5-10 years later, and now they're actually together and they're happy. And the person was okay with it, but I think that brings you to a certain level of maturity and
you have
growth.
to be very mature.
Right.
And
because
happy.
people don't, if it doesn't work for you, you don't know who is going to work for outside of that.
Right,
so when it's not like a person was plotting the entire time, like this is how just things happen.
Flow.
So
like,
watching shows like that has also changed my mind as far as the dynamics of dating. It doesn't matter like who the person is. If you guys click.
Correct.
If it was like an ex's brother, I personally, for me, I would not go there. No, yeah, like
no family members.
Okay,
I had a friend date like 5 people in my family.
No, see, that's just too much.
And I'm like, are you sure you want to do this? He was like, yeah. And I was just like,
but see, now that we weren't looking for. You cannot be with multiple in my family and say you're looking for a relationship. Like, I think that was more of a game. Like everybody's just trying to see.
I get that she saw some eligible bachelors in the family, but I always say you have to tread lightly because at the end of the day, you will be in the outskirts, and these people will still be family. Yeah, they'll be talking about you. So you want to, as a lady, which we talked about, but that's a whole other story. But yeah, that was. But this was in the 20s and et cetera, et cetera.
Listen, the 20s are the time to make mistakes.
That's true.
And you learn from them. 30s are the time you start fixing them.
Yeah, and sometimes in 40s, I would say like. For me, turning 40, like this year I'll be 43, and there's a lot of things that I even question, like, girl, like you did that or you participated in that, like what were you thinking? But there's at different stages of life there's different levels of growth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and life is about learning. It's a forever learning journey.
Exactly.
So it's just taking notes and applying them, because there's one thing to like admit to something, take the notes, and just keep it pumping.
Correct.
You got to apply it to your life in order to see the changes that you actually want to look for.
You have to
so
grow.
there's a lot of things like, I was with the shits all the way. Like sometimes I am still with the shits, like depending on the day. Like I could get up and just be like, today's the shits day. Like I don't care who gets it. Yeah. But then there's other times like the space that I'm in, because I enjoy it so much. I don't want to go back. Like anytime if I feel myself like tethering, I'm like, oh no. Yeah,
I'm gonna pivot this way.
Yes, like girl, you're slipping. But for me, it's just like there's so many things that if I had the opportunity to do over in my 20s and in my 30s, I would actually do it because of what I know now. I will be able to apply it. So if there was ever that opportunity where they would say, like, if you can go back to such and such age, would you do it? Yes, because what I know now, I will be able to apply it. Things may, my future may change a little bit, but it might change for the better.
So I have a question. What would you tell your younger self in regards to dating?
First and foremost, listen to your mom. She wasn't a hater.
Moms be knowing.
Girl.
Moms are always so right.
Moms are always so right. No. Yeah. Like, I would definitely say to listen to your mom. I would not have been in such a rush to grow up.
Yeah.
I would definitely tell myself you should have went away to school to have that opportunity. Definitely do that. And I wish I would have traveled more in my 20s and 30s than after. You know, I had my son and it wasn't like a priority.
Okay.
That was something that I could do whenever. I always felt like I could travel whenever. It's more about my son. And then as he got older, I started to travel more. So if I can sit down with my younger self, I will give her literally this outline.
Playbook.
And say, girl, this is what you're going to do. When you graduate, when you leave high school, this is how you should go.
Okay.
So it will definitely be, you know, parents are parents at the end of the day. They do know more than what we know.
That's right.
They do.
Yes. A lot of the times they are talking more from experience and not just because they're your parent and they can tell you what to do.
Yeah.
And just live life, not being in such a rush. Because now in my 40s, I'm just like, I wish I can go back to my 20s and then do a little... you know, do a few things differently.
Got it.
So I would definitely just listen to the advice. Be more open-minded when people are giving you advice. Don't be so quick to be like, you just want to control my life and you know everything. Because things would have been different. The difference that I would not have want is my son, because if I had did things differently, then my son would not be here, and he is like my best gift out of the situation. So I would definitely, if I could leave that in there, I would, but listen more, because I did not listen.
You're like, I'm gonna do it my way.
Yes,
definitely
I'm
listen
gonna
to my
do
mom.
it. Used to slam doors.
What, slam the door?
I'll definitely listen to my mom. I would listen to myself too. I would listen to my gut. I feel like you know, you get in a lot of situations that you shouldn't be in, because you know what you're not supposed to do,
right?
But you do it anyway. And when you're young, you have this YOLO mentality of, I'll do it now, I'll fix it later. So I would definitely listen to my gut. I would listen to my family for sure. I would focus more on myself. I think that you know, especially when you're younger, you get so caught up trying to please everybody else, make everybody happy, because you think it's what you're supposed to be doing, that you don't pour into yourself. So I would pour into myself more. There's a lot of things I think that I would keep the same, just because I feel like if like, kind of like what you said, if one thing had went differently, we wouldn't even be here right now, right?
Exactly.
So I'm like, okay, I wouldn't change too much, but I would definitely pour into myself. And I think that, especially in my early 20s, I was so obsessed with like meeting boys. I'm not gonna call them men, but I'm gonna call them boys.
They were boys, because I was in love with boys.
I swore that I was gonna be married when I was 25, had my first kid when I was 27, had my second kid when I was 20. I had it all
planned out.
And that has not happened. But yeah, just to understand that life is gonna happen, things are gonna happen the way they happen. Just roll with the punches. Absolutely.
I think there should be a course, like, if we could provide that to young girls today, as far as like
same thing.
teaching young girls what self-care is and how important it is.
I'm telling you,
girl, I'm so like, I wouldn't even mind putting it together. All of us doing it. Like, I feel like they need to learn self-love and self-care, because they don't know what self-love is, and we didn't know what self-love was. Like, it took me a long time to like realize that. But if you start in your 20s, I feel like it sets you up so much better in your future.
And less heartbreak. I always tell people, it's less, when you understand your worth and when you love yourself, you will protect yourself and not let anything harm you. And you can kind of see it dead on. But when you're foggy on that and don't quite understand loving yourself and who you are, and you know, you let a lot of people come into your life that don't have any, are not going to do any good, and are actually, you know, a real bad situation for you to be in, let alone having your life in any capacity. So like, you, to echo your sentiments, you know, self-love and understanding your worth. Like,
Absolutely.
You know, I had the decision to say no, you know, I'm good, or you know, no, that's not a good decision for me, or a good alliance. Friendships for personal female friendships, and
this is what you're gonna tell your younger self.
Relationships, but
girl, leave them trash friends alone.
Yes,
she
is not your friend.
Right? Girl. Now, the only thing I would do differently in my 20s, I spent a lot of money, right? So
I think we all did.
So I would have saved more, because, you know, as you get older, the bills change, your wants and needs change, especially if you live in one of the most expensive cities like we do.
Yes.
So I definitely would have saved more. I spent a lot of money when I was younger. And I think that I don't know if I would have changed my relationships with dudes because I've always been hard on men, like hard body. Like I've always made them really work. But that's only because I grew up in a family full of men, right? I have 4 brothers. So my lessons came from them because I'm not saying because they're brothers, they're good dudes.
Right.
My brothers are, they're all
but
very...
they were young too.
They were young. They were all very handsome. But I never forget the youngest of I call my twin, the youngest of my brothers. He used to get all the girls and, et cetera, et cetera. Even to this day, there's not a place we can go and somebody be like, hey, your problem. I'm like, really? But anyway, there was this one girl that wasn't taking his shit, right? And I literally saw him actually change up his whole world for her. And that's because she knew what her worth was. And she put her foot down. Like, no, if you want to rock with me, if you want to date me, you're going to have to do this. And guess what? He did. And that's the one who he was focused on. And that's the one he again, that was one of the first lessons. I'm like, so if a dude and if a man really wants to act right, he will for the right woman. So a lot of my lessons came from, my brothers and the family. So with the men, I was good. Career-wise, I was fine. I probably could have stayed put for a little while. Friendships. I do think I could have handled friendships a little differently.
Agree.
The younger me would cut people off like, I'm good. But when you're able to communicate effectively and say, you know what you did hurt me. What you did, like I felt a certain kind of way about that. And that's why, XYZ. If I was able to communicate more as a friend, there are some friendships that I think I could have handled differently. You live and you learn.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like, there needs to also be like a course on relationships.
Positive communication.
Yeah, because
relationships.
Yes, because I did not communicate effectively in all of my relationships, and it was mainly from my fear of either my relationship with my significant other falling apart, or my friendships falling apart because I'm being vocal. They're hearing things that they don't want to hear. It's making them upset, and now they're no longer in my life.
Correct.
And I did that for so long without realizing. Because
if you lose them, they maybe weren't for you.
And that was the thing. That was like a hard lesson for me to like learn. So like now I'm quicker to cut people off. Like when I probably should have been cutting people off like in the 20s and 30s. It was just like, and again, we don't know in our 20s and 30s how to be girlfriends or friends. We don't really know how to operate with each other. From like high school to like womanhood. Right. It's just like, and the key thing, boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
No one knew what boundaries were. No one was setting boundaries. So it was just literally, you learn as you grow. And if it got rocky, it got rocky. Nobody really addressed the elephant in the room.
And backstabbing.
And you know what? A friend of mine, like we were talking about like the dynamics of friendships, and while as adults now we see things differently. But gossiping amongst friends about other friends was the bonding. Like that was like a glue that
like, hey,
built
girl, what's
girl relationships. It was like, girl, so did she tell you what happened the other day? Like it was things like that I see a lot of these 20-year-olds now. I hear them in the streets and everything, and it's just like, I wish I could just tell y'all like
it's not worth it.
This is how you're gonna forever be beefing with your own friends. Because of what it is that you're doing. So that's a great point. Like that would be something that I would add to my 21s. I like learn how to communicate. Take those communication classes seriously and go to therapy. Like I feel like everybody should go to therapy.
Me too.
Yes.
I advocate therapy.
Because before I was
talk like to somebody.
Therapy, I am never going to therapy, and that was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Therapy will change your life.
Therapy change your life. It opens up so many windows that you didn't even realize that you were closing and then boarding up.
Talk to somebody that doesn't know you, is unbiased, and be open. Because people are not vulnerable with people they know.
Right.
People, I want them on my business. This is not about all your business.
Really?
This is about things that's resting on your heart.
Yeah.
That
absolutely.
These people are close to you. That it's killing you inside. Your emotions are torn up, and they don't even know. But they don't know because you don't have the voice, or you feel a safe place to.
You don't have the words.
Right.
I mean, to bring kind of back to the whole like dating thing, during my single season, like I started going to therapy, and I feel like that also helped to prepare me for where I am in my life right now, just overall.
And thriving.
There were so many things that like I had to unpack, and I didn't realize it. Like there are so many things that lie dormant inside of you, and they are the reason why you make the decisions that you make without even realizing it. And I just thought to myself, like, okay, I'm single now. I'm rediscovering who I am as a single individual after, being tied to somebody else. And I have to do that. How can I do it effectively so I don't bring all of this into the next relationship and dump it on the next person who doesn't deserve it, right?
Agree.
I had to deal with, a lot of different things. Let me go to therapy. Right? And of course, in the beginning, it's like, oh, how are you? Oh, I'm great. Everything is good.
Why are you here, man?
Yeah. And then they'll just be like, and she would just ask me like a simple question, like, what is your morning routine? And I would tell her what my morning routine is. And they'll just be like, well, why did you stay in bed for so long? Why didn't you get up when your alarm first went off?
Right.
Or why do you work where you work? Why do you travel so far to get to, like, why don't you just get another job?
Why are you inconveniencing yourself?
Or how's your life at home? Oh, life is at home is great. How's your family? Oh, my family is great. How has that I guess impacted who you are now and the decision that you make and the way that you date? And I actually didn't realize that my parents have been married for 35 years, right? And they had this beautiful marriage and had ups and downs and sacrifices. But for me, I got so caught up on wanting that happily ever after that I was willing to have it at all costs because I felt like I needed that completion in a partner. And I didn't realize that until I started going to therapy. And they were just like, you can't emulate what somebody else has. Yeah. You have to create your own, and you also have to understand who you are.
Right.
So your existence shouldn't depend or shouldn't rely on a relationship.
Right.
And all of that, I was just like, okay, so I guess I was at a point in my life where I had become so intertwined with somebody else that I lost sight of who Nathalie was.
Right.
And I had to rediscover and relearn and peel back all these layers. And she had me crying and sniffling and boo-hoo. I'm like, where is this coming from? Like, I'll tell her things that happened when I was like 3 years old. I'm like, wait, what? Like, why am I in here?
Yeah.
Listen,
therapy.
But therapy is the
time.
reason why I'm open to dating. Because before I was never really open for dating. I was just like, listen, like, if it happens, like, I really don't care. I enjoy my little bachelorette life. Like, do what I want, move how I want. Yeah. But now, with dealing with certain issues, it was just like, no, I want that. Like, I do, like, I want to feel butterflies. I want to see, like, I want to be hugged up on all the time. I want to be excited after a long day and be like,
and it's okay to say that. Some people don't even feel comfortable saying that. I would love a hug right now.
Yeah.
It's like, people
that was me.
To, like,
that was me, girl. Like, I guess.
I tell everybody all the time,
I guess we can hold hands.
You want a hug and, like, come on, like, just give me a hug. But now I'm like, hug me.
Yeah. Like, go talk to somebody. Talk about what you're feeling. When I communicate with my friends and family, I made a vow to never say, how you doing? I ask my friends and family, how are you feeling? How are you feeling is a very different question than how are you doing? I'm doing good. How are you feeling? Really kind of forces or should force a person to say, well, I feel, because I want, and I tell, and when sometimes I feel people, diverting even that question. How you feeling? I feel cool. I'm kicking it. I'm like, no, how are you feeling? And that really forces somebody to. That's my mental health for the people who I love and care about. I want them to start unpacking a little bit. And I also want them to feel comfortable talking about your feelings. If you're having a bad day, I'm really having a bad day, something my boss said really bothered me, or, I'm really feeling sick. I've been having we don't talk about, I'm feeling good, I'm kicking it. How was the weekend? The weekend was cool. Using adjective, it was cool. Am I, how are you feeling? Really? And when people divert, I'm like, no, you didn't answer the question. What I'm asking you.
So you calling them out.
In a very loving way. Yeah. I'm like, what I'm asking you is, how are you feeling? And how are you feeling inside? And they're like, oh, okay. And I'm like, this is I want us to have real conversations. And I want you to know that without it being all like therapy-ish, I'm on the phone. I want you to know that you are able to express how you are feeling with your loved ones. And I was like, if you can't express it with me, as close as we are, then so as of last year, I've been asking, when I talk to my friends and family, because we don't sometimes, we're moving so quickly. We don't have the time to always, hey, girls, I'm taking the kids out here. I'm doing this. Are you doing this podcast? How you feeling? What's going on? I know, how's everything at the job? And, how's your health and everything? People, we don't talk about health. Yeah, I'm good. I had a little something going on. But, okay, well, did you check it out? Or here's something that I've used because I had the same thing. I'll text it to you. So I'm on that very self-love, self-care, self-health with my friends and family because I want to make sure their mental health is good. I want to make sure, our bodies are good because we're plagued with a lot of different health issues that we don't talk about. But if the minute somebody else is going through it, you kind of feel a little bit easier talking about whatever's going on with you. So that's my thing.
Being vulnerable is something that I'm still I'm embracing it just more. It's just I think the years of just being so guarded.
Correct, and locked in. I don't want nobody know how I'm feeling. I'm good.
And it's not so much because I was always the one hey, how are you? Not so much people asking me how I was doing. And maybe it's because my friends know me. So it's just this is D. If this is something we'll know about it. But I just never felt comfortable to really open up to people.
You wouldn't feel judged or
so now, and that was mainly it. People are gonna judge me. People are gonna be like, really? So for me now, it's trying to be forcing myself to be more vulnerable because I gotta step outside. But I'm just
people hate it.
I noticed that it's still with certain people, and I want my circle. I want to be open with everybody in my circle, not just key people. Because then you bombard that person. You're dumping too much on that one individual, and because if I want my people to feel comfortable enough to come and talk to me, I have to be able to do the same. So
all the time.
It's a
learning curve.
A learning curve.
Figure it out along the way. Figure it out.
And it starts to feel normal after a while.
Right.
If somebody's like, oh, how you feeling? Or if somebody asks me how I'm feeling, I feel terrible today. You know why? I felt embarrassed about this. This is what happened. Me and such and such had to, it just it actually frees you too. It lifts a weight off when you kind of get stuff out.
Right.
You're well,
now you're damn,
talked about that.
And it's not bad. That's how you build relationships because you realize your people, they care about you. They want to know how you're doing.
Yeah, and it feels good to know that.
They want to be able to be there and help you. I was at some points in my life, I was back up against the wall, and I was oh shoot, I need to ask for help.
Yeah.
I actually have to ask for help.
Everyone on this podcast knows I do not ask for help.
Ask for help, and when I asked for help, everyone said, "Okay, I'll help." Literally, not one person said no, and I was just oh,
so that was easy.
See, I'm the queen asking for help, baby.
I
am the queen. I'm not. I know this is a big contention. Not contention, but I always call this a big subject for when I talk to us sisters, us women. I'm not on the Miss Independent Woman wave. I've never been because we need each other, and I cannot do everything by myself. Nor do I want to. So a big part of that is, asking for help.
No.
If you need it.
I was not. So in my very first couple of episodes, I talked about that. You were raised that way. You don't ask.
You got to take care of this.
You figure it out on your own. That's just it. My grandmother was very prideful. I can say now, thinking about it, she was a single mom coming from the West Indies. She took care of her kids, and that's just how we were raised. It was just you don't let nobody see you down. You figure it out on your own, and you just keep trucking. So that's how I was. I will say my cousins and I are kind of the same way. Yeah. We're just no, we got this. I don't ask anybody for help.
I need help.
And when people offer help,
do you?
I'm no. I'm the one who's curving people.
Don't want to inconvenience anybody.
Yeah, I don't and that's one of my favorite go-tos.
No,
I don't want to inconvenience anybody. No. And my uncle talks to me about that all the time. He's like, niece. And I'm just I don't know how to receive
it's tough
it.
If you haven't, if that's not your normal resting place.
Yes.
I need help with something.
Yeah.
Can you help me do something?
Yeah. So it's real awkward. For my mom's party, everybody was just so what help do you need? And I'm oh, I got this and I got that. And it's God. Just
listen, baby. No, baby.
Yeah,
I will ask for help, baby.
I don't, it's so, for me,
but that's
because
I'm
weird.
The youngest. But
see, I'm an only child, so it's not
that's different.
Yeah, so it's not But my son is the same way.
Mm-hmm.
He's just he doesn't.
Well, you got to
really
talk to him and
ask
be
for.
like, yo,
he
listen.
feels awkward, and he's just like, I don't like. Forget it. Like he'll just say, forget it. Don't worry. No, never mind. And I'm just like, whoa.
No,
like,
you have to ask for help sometimes, and I learned that when it comes to my dating, I had a tough time showing vulnerability, and what ended up happening was it was because I was struggling with trusting men.
Got it.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, my family, I know they're gonna be there.
Correct.
I know they're not going anywhere. But if you're a man coming into my life, are you here for the right reasons, and are you gonna stay?
Got it.
So should I ask you for help? And if
Or
I
even
ask
be
you for help, are you
vulnerable.
gonna be around? Are you gonna throw it back in my face?
Yeah.
You're gonna show me that, you know, like where, like this is a us thing, right?
Right.
And so it takes time. You have to really, like, whoever your person is,
Right.
if you ask for help, they're going to help you, and they're
Right.
not going to say no, and they're not going to back down, and they're not going to go anywhere.
Correct.
And it comes with learning, and it comes with building the proper bond with the right person, because not everybody's going to be doing that for you.
No.
You know?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
So we're like, it's 7:30. Can you believe that?
Already?
Look at us. Look at us.
I
God.
can't.
Time
We're just
has
unpacking
flown.
everything.
Yes.
We're just unpacking and therapy.
We
and
have
mental
2
health.
topics left.
Okay.
But I want to get to one, definitely. So I wanted to know what Black love means to you. Hearts. Do you get hearts in the eyes? Because I do.
Our eye emojis.
I'll say this, right? Black love is everything to me because we love so hard and we love so deep. And I do feel like for some reason, people think that people are not loving on each other, getting married, and et cetera, et cetera. They are. We have 2 heavy, loud voices. Oh, people ain't getting married. Marriages ain't nothing anymore. Da da da. And then we have a whole group of other people, which you can see every day on your feed, who are getting married, finding love in uncanny places, and building their lives with each other. So, I say this. I say love is what you make it. Our love is very special. My vision of Black love comes from my family. That's really the first place you would see love and relationships is in your own family. A lot of people, majority of people in my family are married. So I saw that framework from a kid. I saw what to do and what not to do from a plethora of marriages. And most of the people in my family are married to each other in regards to a Black love across the board. And for me, my own little Black love cornucopia, I'm newly married. I think we're going. I'm saying Valentine's Day.
He's gonna fight you. He's going to fight you.
Valentine's makes it 4 years now. So yeah, we met around the time. Makes it 4 years now, and we learn and we grow, and it's something that I was never the girl that's like thinking about marriage every 5 seconds. I've always said, if I meet the right person, I'll know.
Right.
I'll know if it's that dude. And when I met my husband, I was like, this dude is very. All right, so this was like my 4th proposal. So I was just like, all right.
From him or from other men?
This is from other people.
Okay.
So I was just like, this dude, I was like, no, this dude, I was like, he's something special. I was like, if I F up this,
then there's a problem.
There's a problem with me. So I was just like, with this dude, and it's Black love is great. It's happy. It's tough. It's growth. It's many things, but don't ever let anyone. Just my big takeaway is don't ever let anyone tell you Black love is not going on. It is going on. It's been thriving since the days of time for us. It's been strong. If it's a high flame or a simmer, it's still going on. Black love just does not only mean relationships with men and women. It means your family, your friends. So I just wanted to embody that scope. Family, friends, and mate. That's Black love across the board. And it's still thriving and strong today. And don't let the media or
fool you, make you
other
feel like
people
it's
who maybe
non-existent.
have had bad situations, cloud or your point of view on it. It's still thriving. It's still occurring. And, when you're ready and your time is there, you'll embrace it. So that's my takeaway with it. And,
What's your
lie.
I know. I feel like she took
said all the things.
I know. See, we can stop that.
But yeah, no. I'm a huge advocate for Black love. You already know.
Yes, I know.
Black love is dope.
She does.
Yeah. Yes,
course,
I have my
I can't
apparel.
wait. Yes, I need a sweater
Yeah.
ASAP.
What's up with the merch?
I got
yes,
you.
I
got
forgot
you
to
with
text
the-
you back last
Valentine's
night.
Day
merch.
Yes, I
I got
know.
you. I got you with the
I forgot to text you
merch.
back like she couldn't bring it.
Okay.
Well, I didn't know, but
I know. It was last minute.
Yeah,
It was last minute.
But for me, I look at Black love as it's just so many different layers. It's multifaceted. It's multi-layered, and something that I realized just with growth is that a lot of times when we talk about Black love, we look at Black love as heterosexual, cisgender love, and we now live in a society that has allowed us to view love in so many different beautiful ways, and it looks like something. It's like a huge like smorgasbord of just everybody loving
Of
one
emotion.
another. It's great. It's everything. Like what you said,
Yeah.
it's literally everything. And the thing about it is that at the end of the day, I feel like Black men and Black women, whether you choose to love Black men or Black women or, you know, however you choose to love, we're made for one another. Like no one is going to understand me like another Black person. Like
agree.
they're not going to
I
understand my
agree.
journey.
I agree.
They're not going to understand my pain. They're not going to understand
I
my
agree.
triumphs, my tragedies, my struggles. Like they're not going to get it. And even if you're in a interracial relationship or whatever, you still have like your Black person that you're still going to go to no matter what.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's just like, no, that's Black love at the end of the day. And to love Black and to be loved Black, it's one of the most magical things in the world.
I need you to repeat that last part again.
To love Black and to be loved Black is one of the most magical
You want
things.
Love Jones meet
in
tonight,
the
baby?
world.
Hello? Was that
Nothing
in
like
the
it.
voice? In the voice?
Nothing like it.
Oh,
Like,
I need that on a shirt.
oh my
Yes, I love that.
I was like, wait, what?
God. Bars.
Forget, literally, forget everything else she said, honey.
Yeah, no.
Girl.
It's just, I mean, it starts with loving yourself. It starts with loving your fellow man. It's loving your partner and loving the community. I'm a huge proponent for community advancement and community advocacy.
Yes.
And continuing the growth of our neighborhoods, our communities, systematically, you know, uprooting from where we are and where we've been placed and becoming something greater and something better. And so it's also about us who are in places of privilege, reaching back into our communities and helping one another, working with young boys, working with young women, and making sure that we leave those imprints in their lives and they're able to produce more fruit as well and pass it on and pass it on. All of that is Black love.
Yeah.
Like, all of it is Black love. And at the end of the day, that's what matters, and that's what we need more of. So Black love is life. Black love is everything.
You know, you two, like, yeah, there's nothing left to like even say. Like, what is there to say?
Oh my God.
I don't know what. Black love. Let's see. For me, Black love is getting all the feels when I see you.
Yeah.
Even after we had an argument.
Yeah.
That's true.
Those butterflies and the warmth that's received, there's nothing better than being genuinely loved by your mate. And that love, when it's a genuine thing, I feel like no matter what you guys go through or face in your relationship, you will always be able to get through it. And that's something that I love seeing. And I was very happy when they came out with Black love. And when you get to see the trials and the
What they went
tribulations.
The realness.
Oh my
They
God.
went through so
Some
much.
of
And those couples.
One of the couples
Baby.
like ended up after the show, they actually finally like separated and are getting a divorce. But they're such good friends and they actually think
that
the
author
show
or the director guy?
It was, he had a bald head.
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
Where they had like a really low, and he
And
had
got
told
sick with the
her.
crystals.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, and he was the one who told her like he was on the way on a business trip, and he said he wasn't coming back.
Baby,
and then
I was like-
they got back together.
I wasn't a
and
fan of him
everything.
for many reasons, but
I felt a lot of
she
ego.
chased him.
to me, I was just like, I felt like, and I had to be checked because a friend of mine told me, my best friend on state was just like, there is no 50-50. Somebody is going to pour into the other more than the other. So she was like, so you have to get out of that. And I felt in that case that not only was she pouring more into him, I felt like she was fighting more for the marriage that I think he already rationalized, like it was over. Yes. But he decided to come back, I think around the time she got sick.
Because she got sick and her aunt died or her grandma died.
You can't leave someone when
so they were separated and he came back when her aunt passed. So that's how they rekindled. And then after the show, like they do like these little follow-ups and stuff like that. And they had said like, you know, they decided that they were going to be separated. But what I liked is that you can see that they were both genuinely in a better space. Because when they had separated the first time, she said like they hated each other. And I was just like, so watching that, it allowed me to see the greatness of Black couples.
I love that.
Especially when they go from like their worst of the worst to like their greatest. And then it's like years. They're still years in. And they openly speak about, like, I couldn't stand him or I couldn't stand her.
A really bare scope of relationship from the good times, the great times to the terrible. We weren't talking. We weren't even, you know, seeing each other in the same bed.
Right.
And here it is. You see these people all the time and you think everything's great, everything's cool, you know. But they're like really digging deep and going about when they first met. So I like the realness of that. I love it. People don't really, I feel like whenever you see a couple, you just already made up, oh, they look great together. They're out at the barbecue. Oh, they always look so nice. They got their little kids. So happy. But you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. I've never been envious of anybody's relationship because you really don't know what's going on behind closed doors.
No, I don't want anybody else's relationship. I want my own relationship because I don't want your baggage. Like I don't want what y'all go through.
And that's why I don't like the hashtag relationship goals.
No, I don't like it, girl. I hate that. I hate that
because you don't.
Even though I do kind of have a relationship goal right now, and it's like Ace Hood and his fiance Sheila.
I love her.
I don't know. I don't.
So I gotta show you her page.
I love her.
So I love her. Did you see the post that his baby mother put up?
No.
So Ace Hood and his kid's mom had like a really bad breakup. All of that. Like they even like co-parenting was like a struggle.
Wow.
And she thanked Sheila for coming into his life.
Wow.
Because she said, like, they can actually talk now.
Wow.
Like, she hangs out with her.
She made
like,
her
she
better
was like,
person.
she said, you know, this was his baby mother's word. Sheila knows how hard I go for her. And I was just like,
wow.
Like, people were commenting, like, I'm sorry, who's cutting onions? I was crying about this post because it speaks volumes. And she, to me, Ace Hood doesn't post as far as like a lot what goes on in the relationship. He posts her, but she talks more openly about it. And she talks about the bads of their relationships, the struggles that they went through, the fact that she was dating him and his career and everybody around him were telling him that he couldn't show that he was in a relationship because it will negatively impact his career as a rapper that he was in a relationship compared to single. And so for me, I use them and Adjua and Styles P like they're also relationship goals because they show everything. It's not just like when the cake is done. They showing you the whole process. And I live for realness in relationships because they're not always. First of all, I'm very over these relationships. Clearly, you have a photographer with you all the time.
That's the thing.
Why?
I'm like,
why do we have a photographer all the time?
It's so bizarre.
Like,
y'all don't wear matching outfits all the time now. Come on.
Like,
bizarre.
You getting up in the morning making coffee. There's a clear ass picture.
I love LeBron James and Savannah.
I love that.
They don't get any real advantage. She should be chilling, doing her own thing, and I just love that. It's like a real relationship.
Yes.
And they have anything and everything you can imagine. Him being one of the most notable athletes in the world. And he's married to her. And it's like, it's just a, she'd be like,
she just herself.
Yeah. So
and that's what I love. So the relationship goals that we see, I think, are just people fawning over these materialistic fake ass relationships, and I don't
want
want that.
He got jewelry from me.
The trips, the flying out.
I'm wearing a watch. I'm like,
XO Nicole posted the other day. Somebody had put something up about stop making your friends feel bad because they're not going on trips.
True.
Maybe they don't want to travel. Some people are okay with not traveling. So stop making them feel like their relationship is less than because they're not being flued out or you're not going out. And I was like, like, what might be good for some people is not what other people want. Some people are okay with just chilling.
Right on my couch.
Being right here. Exactly.
Or on the island. Either or.
It could be anything, but... And I was just like, you know what, that shit is right. Like, my girlfriend might not care that I'm island hopping all the time. She may be okay with just going bowling and
everyone is different.
Or
she could be
sipping
on the couch with her boo. He rubbing her feet.
Right.
Okay.
And
or
that
massaging
is
her back
right.
after
Airplane.
You can't do a lot of that stuff, and when you're away, it's just like there are different things that make people happy, and you have to. Social media just tends to
that's why I don't really be on
jade
it like that.
people in relationships and make people feel like what
FOMO,
relationships
fear of missing out, or I want to be doing what they're doing. Why didn't you buy me this? I don't have a watch
How
like
do you
that.
ladies feel about posting your significant others on social media?
So
my husband and I do not. We don't follow each other. I don't even know his social media handle like that. To be honest with you, to be honest, whatever. I don't even really know his social media handle. What?
I want to at least know it, but I don't know if I gotta.
I have an idea, but his mom be on it, so I know she's checking for me. So
okay,
his Haitian mom be checking for me.
Oh no, she's checking.
Make sure
she's checking. She's like, what you out here doing?
Correct. So I'm good on that. And I literally just got on social media, so ain't much.
Yeah, she don't post much.
And even
it's nothing to write home about.
Right? Even with mine. For me, I like my personal with my mate, just away from it all.
Right.
Now, it's the difference if you are the couple that's like, your couple-dom or relationship is your vehicle for money and success and things like that, and you're constantly I still don't even feel comfortable with that. Like, but I get that people like posting their kids and but for me, I like a little bit of privacy on just my personal. That's one of my most precious things is
I'm gonna post his hand. Like, it's always if you guys were to ever see my mate on social media, it has to be like an announcement. Like,
there you go. That's what it is.
Expected. We have a house. It's something to where everybody's gonna be like, wait, who? Like, who is this person? I'm one of those people, like, if you're posting your relationship, everything about your relationship, when y'all are on a break, when y'all had a fight, like when you argue, I want to know.
Much.
Because you only telling me the good. Like, don't post all that.
That's true.
I need the goods and the
bad.
bad.
Everything.
Yeah.
Because then you're invested in someone else's relationship.
That could be it. That could be it.
Daddy Chronicles that I love because he posts about his kids, but he also posts about the relationship with his lady. He's like, she's mad at me right now. She's in the living room, but I'm still going to cover her with the covers or whatever. So I like stuff like that. But I definitely feel like, like you said.
I think it's just gotten too much, like, in a lot of ways, it kind of like makes or breaks people's relationships. Like for some females, it's like if you don't post me, like what's the problem? Who you seeing? And it's like, girl, like let me live on my page. Or even I don't think. Okay, I won't say that men don't get bothered. Maybe they're just not as vocal about it. But the fact that posting your significant other weighs so much on your relationship, that's a problem, and I feel like that needs to be talked about. I'm not big on it. Like, I don't, and like you said, can I keep that to me?
Correct. I think if like a lady has a dude who nobody don't know he with somebody, that's a different story.
That's different.
There's like different. No inkling on his page of being in a relationship with anybody.
Right.
Then that's a little bit like
if you're deliberately hiding someone.
Correct.
Right. When you mean deliberate about it, it's just like, so bro, I'm about to post on your page.
You're about to go do something. You don't want people to know
like
you have
nobody
someone.
knows you are even with someone, let alone a wife or a girlfriend or kids.
Then that's different. Like when there's intentions behind it, it's just like,
what's going on?
what's going on here? Yeah.
But I agree with you about just keeping certain things private.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why when you have your Insta stories, you have your close friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
They get all the smoke. They
Yes.
see everything.
They see everything.
They see everything.
Yeah.
Do a picture of a shadow of you and that person, or
Yeah.
you know, we're on the beach,
Right. And it's like you see a little shadow of a human in the bag. Yeah.
So all these pictures of me out and about. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's taking the
exactly,
photos.
Exactly.
That's who's taking the photos.
Correct.
But yeah.
Correct.
So guys, we got 10 minutes left.
Oh, shucks, the closer. What's the closer?
So there's no really big closer. What I do want you guys, if you can, is I like having my guests give like their favorite quotes at the end. But I also want you guys to tell us about any upcoming events, projects, or anything that you want us to know about. So everybody can, including me, can look out for it. So like while I'm here, let's pull up the calendar because I don't want to miss anything. I'm already upset I'm missing this week.
Oh, don't worry. There will be others.
Yeah. Okay. So who wants to go first?
Ooh. All right. So
if you want to do the quotes after, we can
we'll do the quotes
Okay.
after. I have to think about the quotes.
Okay.
Caught me off guard there. I have to think about the quotes.
No problem. But, okay, so maybe we'll skip that part. Maybe we'll skip it because I don't have one either. So.
I didn't do my homework. I didn't know.
I mean, it was for you guys.
Oh,
okay, like just go with the events. Okay.
But yeah, so what I do is I have a platform that is specifically catered to women of color. I also have a collaborative partner who's a certified life coach, and he works with men. So what we do is we have collaborative conversations with Black men and women who are single, in relationships, and married. And we bring everybody into one room and we talk about life and love. It's very interesting, and it's great to get insight from someone who's in a different relationship standard than you, or different relationship status, excuse me, because you have a different, you get different perspectives, different insights. So we're about to have our 1-year anniversary. I'm really excited about that. Ooh. And also, I have my mentorship program. It's called the Little Sisters Hangout. And
that's the one that Jessica came to, right?
Yes, that's the one that Jessica was at. Yeah. So it's in collaboration with the Red Hook Art Project, where we bring in volunteers to do one-on-one mentorship for a day once a month with young girls in the community. And we just hang out with them. We have specific conversations just about life and love and growing and what it means to be like a preteen going into your teenage years.
Yeah.
Such
critical years.
Yeah, we talk about hair, we talk about school, we talk about hygiene, we talk about boys.
Nice.
Just things that, girls need to know about. And we do one-on-one so that they have all the attention focused on them, because sometimes, at that particular age, based on what they're doing at home or what their life is like at home, I should say, they don't get that same attention.
Right.
So we're going to be having one February 23rd, and it's going to be in conjunction with Black History Month. Yay. So looking for volunteers. So if anybody would like to volunteer, Nellie's Compass at gmail.com.
Okay.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, for me, I'm just lately I've been momming. Yeah. I am the mom to a wonderful little Princess Jasmine. Aww. She's like everything. She's such a good baby. Aww. And like every day I'm like, this is like, I'm a mom. Like
you have a whole damn baby.
Yeah,
like a whole human.
I'm used to, I'm the girl that's usually be on the scene at this event, this thing, work related or just supporting friends. So like my whole life has been like changed in the most amazing way. So shout out to all the moms out there, new moms figuring it out. What's going on with me? Just life and love. Like I am on a mission for everyone around me, friends, family. I want us and our quality of life to just be positive, to just change, because the world as it is a very harsh world, and it's been ever changing for us these last couple of years. So I really feel like, your friends, your family, your home is the one area where you should be able to come to be, loved and cherished and poured into. So that's really my mission with everyone today. Earlier today, I was mentoring a young girl who's interning at the company I work for, and she was just like, I spoke to 45 people, and and she's a brown girl, and she was like, I spoke to 45 people, and she was like, like you've given me like just some great advice. And as she's entering college next year, and one of her questions was like, my friends, they're kind of turning their backs on me because I can't be. They want me to be at the mall all day, and she's like at our company, which is one of the biggest tech companies in the world, and she has this internship, and it's a really big deal. And her friends, she feels like she's losing friends, to it. So it was just a big thing for me to sit down with her and say, you will lose some people, but you also gain some people, and just know that what you're doing now, you're bettering your future. And if anything, if your friends love you, they'll understand that, and just sit down with them and talk to them and say, I love you guys, but I'm also on this path to, I'm setting up, we're going to college, I'm setting them up. So I'm big on, just always been on, like, just giving back, pouring into the youth, pouring into our youth, our loved ones, our family, checking on each other. People are passing away. You walk out your door, you don't know if your brother or sister or whoever's going to come, you're going to see them again. The Kobe situation has shed a lot of light on, really? Just loving the ones you love and remembering life is really short. So I'm just doing pour into friends and family and just pouring into the youth. Like they have so many advantages and disadvantages now, but there's so much opportunity for them now too. And if we steer them in the right direction, they can do something big. Also want to shine a light on our community is doing some big things.
We are.
This cloud around Black people are unemployed and we're this and that. No. There's a lot of us, like we're the fastest growing entrepreneurs right now.
Hello.
There's a lot of money being earned and made. So I just want to point to that because people keep
downplaying it.
They downplay our community and they downplay the economic strength. They downplay the knowledge. We are gathering together to seek knowledge from different workshops and different courses and in droves, and we're taking our resources and we're making magic happen. So this whole cloud, we're not doing this, we're unemployed, our housing, we out here, they tend to focus on the negative, but there's so many wonderful things happening
because the negative, if you hear more of the negative, it kind of keeps you stagnant. It makes you not want to like grow. It doesn't make you want to push forward.
Making millions of dollars in 24 hours off of one product.
That's what I'm
never been heard of.
I'm gonna write an ebook.
They tell you the negative because they're afraid that they're afraid of who we are and our potential.
Exactly.
What we're doing.
We coming for it. We coming for it.
We're growing way faster than what. And with all the negative that's going on, they feel like it should keep us back even more, and it's like pushing us further. So they're just like
a course online, trying to sell something, doing your own business, an e-blog, a Shopify store. You name it, we selling it. You name it, we on it. We're taking our hair care, our God-given talent and skills, and we're monetizing that. And I want us just to focus on that. Focus on staying the course of that economic growth and the economic power. So I'm on all things positive. My last takeaway is this. For me, there's a lot of our history involves violence and involves death. And, it is our story, but I'm staying away from movies, messages, literature that is shining a light on that. It's shining a light on, not because it didn't happen, not because that is our history, and I understand where we came from and how important and integral that is to the framework of who we are, but just for mental health purposes, I just want to. We have so many wonderful positive things.
I want to see all of that
are happening. So I just want all of us to kind of like gear towards that a little bit, not forgetting our history. We understand, and we definitely want to be privy to
on that.
But I'm kind of sheltering myself and my loved ones from that kind of traumatic because it
has it weighs heavy. It does a lot of damage.
Like I don't want to see any more movies or anything like that. I don't. It doesn't mean I'm not connected to my history. It just means I'm
not
focusing.
Not woke.
Correct. I'm shifting towards more of a positive and uplifting stories and outcomes. So that's my takeaway for this awesome love. That's my also love component.
Ladies, we did this. I think this is a great way to kick off Valentine's.
It is. We talked about all aspects of love.
Like we really
love you from top to bottom, okay?
Well, it is that time.
What is your last? You didn't give me your last word. You didn't tell me.
My last word, child. I'm talking all the time. I always have a last word. My last word will be in the week of love. Dina is gonna find some love.
She is. And we are gonna
do this.
Yes,
We are going to do
I'm
this.
recruiting everybody.
Yes. We kick this off. We're gonna be a part of your love triangle.
Put your friends on notice. Let them know that
I am. I'm gonna send them a text, and you know what? Because y'all gonna see that picture of the hand one way or another.
Claiming it.
Yes, and I'm gonna tag all of y'all. Yes. I'm like, see, guys, hands. Thank you, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure, Nathalie.
So,
pleasure.
Oh my
it's
gosh.
so nice meeting you.
I feel like a lot of stuff about to happen after this meeting.
The synergy.
Yes, this is good. I feel
It's
it.
a whole lot of synergy.
Really yes.
So yeah.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Toodles.
Bye.